Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to get to 1,000 followers, and I'll be giving out bracelets, mostly rose quartz bracelets and clear quartz, maybe also amethyst, to people who comment and subscribe. So if you want to get a bracelet, which is just an amazing tool to have for spiritual protection, just comfort, keeping all the negative energies out of your field, just like and subscribe and turn on the notifications so that you are always notified of a new content. And I would love to stay connected with you guys. Yeah, let's get straight to the reading. A first card: reach for the stars. It's possible, you can do it. Yeah, definitely. You need to listen to yourself at this time, because eventually you always know the best, what's best for you. And you need to stay consistent. Finish that project. So stay consistent with your work that you are doing, your project. Maybe try and work on your project every day. You live, you learn from your mistakes. Definitely, this is so funny because, some of us learn from stories. Let's say our parents or relatives used to tell us stories. And we learn from stories, what happened in the family with, let's say, your grandparents or your parents. So when you learn through the stories or storytelling, it can also be a movie or a book. When you read these stories, you kind of build an image in your head what sort of like not to do or what to do. So you don't actually have to experience it in your life. Like, you don't actually physically need to go through these lessons if you know how to learn from the storytelling from people that came before you. Get your shit together, get ready for them. Yeah, totally. In order for you to be ready for your perfect match, for your counterpart, it's good to have your things together, Maybe make a list of all the things that you need to finish, because you would like to be in a good state of mind, when you meet your person. You don't want to be all stressed out and worried about unfinished projects, or honestly, this can even be your karmic or somebody you're kind of seeing here and there. So it will be much harder for you to come together with your perfect match if you have these extras on the side. So maybe maybe finish that project, finish that relationship that is not perfect for you in order for the perfect relationship to come in. And getting your things together may mean also just finances, for example, or maybe you need to fix a car, or maybe you need to fix your credit, or any really like health and finance related things. Maybe you would like to, change your career or something like that. Start working on these things. Somebody is saying, I'm sorry for what I did to you. So if a person hurt you in any way, they're really sorry. Like, they are really feeling the consequences of their actions right now. They're saying that you deserve better. Like, you did not deserve that. Whatever happened between you guys, that it, it wasn't your fault, like, you didn't deserve that. Like, they just went and did it without trying to hurt you. It was just like kind of on their, maybe they weren't thinking, or maybe that experience was kind of on their path, so they had to go and do it. But they're saying that you definitely did not deserve it, and that you deserve better than that. Oh my goodness, a baby. Somebody may be expecting a baby, or you should start expecting a baby. When you and your person will come together, this will happen sooner than you think. The baby might come sooner than you think, and Spirit is saying to get your things together before the baby. To get ready. To get ready for your counterpart and for the baby. That whatever projects you have hanging there, whatever people, you need to finish all that, because the real life is coming in for you. Like, your counterpart and the baby are coming in for you sooner than you think. And actually, as soon as you finish all those projects, like, you don't need to be perfect, but as soon as you start working on these projects, things will start moving forward. Because things kind of align in certain timelines, like they have the natural order. So for you to like step into the next level of, let's say, partnership or motherhood, you would need to get certain things together. Just make a list what you need to do in order to prepare. And the timeline may be very flexible. It may be different for everybody, but on average, I would say keep maybe a year in mind. Like, these things don't happen overnight. Of course, somebody may be already pregnant, but normally these things take time. Like, even if you start trying for the baby, it may take some time to actually get pregnant. It may not be as easy as people think. Sometimes it's very personal for everybody, but meanwhile, keep working on yourself. Uh, keep working on what you have. Spirit is saying, start with what you have. Like, you don't need to be perfect. Things, you don't need to be thinking like, oh, but I don't have a budget, or I don't have the right tools. Well, what can you do with what you have? You don't have to be perfect. As long as you get started, you can perfect it when you go along the way. You don't need to be all perfect from the beginning, like they say Rome wasn't built in a day, right? It had to start from just one stone. Like a tree doesn't just grow in a day, right? Like it needs a time to develop it. It needs, you need to water your dream, you need to water your vision. Like your dream can be maybe having a baby, having a family, having your perfect person with you, the perfect job, or maybe you would like to be an entrepreneur. Maybe you never thought that you could actually work for yourself, but what if you just started with what you have? It can be as simple as maybe selling clothes online, on secondary market, or there's so many different apps for that nowadays. Or making your own jewelry, or reading cards, or writing, cooking, dancing, singing, music, gardening. Oh my goodness, there's so many things, right? Only you know what is your passion, like what. Because in order for you to be like completely happy with your family, with your child, with your perfect match, you need to be happy within yourself, right? Like you need to be doing things that you really, really love. So what is that for you? What do you love to do the most? Like, what makes your soul sing? Like, what gets you in that state of flow? You're just like, I love doing this thing. This is so much fun. Like, if I didn't have to go to work, if I didn't have to do this and that, this is what I would be doing, right? And start doing that. And really just start with a little step. Start today. Even if you start writing it down today, like, Spirit is saying just to remember to stay consistent. It is so important because a lot of times we start projects and we don't finish them because of one or another reason. A lot of times people think like, oh, maybe I'm not that good at this and that. Like there's so many other people that are so much better. But, those people started from somewhere too. And practice makes perfect, right? A true mastery needs a lot of experience. So just stay consistent and develop yourself along the way. Add something new. Try and learn something new every day what comes to your project. Your person is telling you that they didn't know what they had until you were gone. So they're really feeling, maybe you're separated not only physically but energetically from them, and they're really feeling the void. They're feeling that you're kind of like drifting away at this time. Maybe you start dating somebody new. And they can feel that. And it's really unpleasant for them because if you have a true connection, you can feel what's going on with each other energetically, right? Like you get messages, like you just need to trust the messages, right? Like your higher self, your higher self will let you know what's going on. Or maybe you will see dreams or signs here and there, the name or the smell or somebody wearing same clothes or the same. Sometimes you can even feel the same spirit in a different person, right? Or similar spirit. And it's so very magical, like don't try and tell yourself that you're crazy if you're seeing signs about your person, if you're sensing things. Like it's totally normal, and like we don't need to put ourselves in the little box, you know, like we can draw outside the lines too, and like use our imagination and use all of our senses, you know, in order to truly feel the love, in order to truly feel the connection. Because we are on this love journey, right? And not everybody get experience. It's a gift. It is truly a gift, and one of the greatest lessons in life, to be on the love journey. In order to feel all the spices and all the ups and downs, all of these experiences are lessons. They're all mini gifts from the universe, right? From love itself. It is so gentle. Love is just really handing us these little gifts, like, this is your experience for this timeline, right? And what are you going to do with that experience? First of all, how are you going to handle it, right? Of course, it doesn't always depend on you, but, you know, if you really try, you can make things better by not trying at all. So your ideas need to be backed up by the action as well. It's not enough that you're only thinking and fantasizing, you know, you're only like bringing the idea in 5D, right? But a very simple example would be, you've been thinking about your person for a long time, but nobody's communicating, nobody's saying nothing. Well, somebody needs to say something. Like, maybe if you're not ready to give them a call or text them, you know, maybe write them a postcard. Maybe just like one of their photos. Something, you know, do something in order to be that person who is like stepping in, you know, is ready to communicate. Like, you be the bigger person, you know. If your person is not ready to communicate, they might be scared. Maybe they apparently did something here, you know, that made you leave or separate from them. So they must be feeling very sorry and just uncomfortable and maybe even ashamed, you know. So you need to first of all forgive this person, really work on like releasing all the resentment and trauma. If you're still holding onto some sort of trauma, whatever you went through, it may have not been pleasant for you. But just remember that it is an experience and it is a gift, even if it wasn't pleasant experience. Of course, if it's something unbearable, then I completely understand. But if it's something that you could overcome and you kind of came on the other side wiser, just be grateful for that experience, you know, because just think about like pros and cons, like what was good in that relationship? Like, was it worth your time and energy and effort? And of course, like as women, we normally overextend a lot, right? Like, we're like way more emotional a lot of times than men are. But we were designed that way. We can't really help it, you know. And I think men understand, you know. Even if they don't like it, you know, oh, she's crazy. Well, yes, but have you ever seen one woman who isn't a little bit crazy sometimes? That you haven't done, like, haven't gone crazy because of the man, right? Imagine that they are already here. Yeah, this is the work that you need to do in 5D in order to bring it into 3D reality. You need to imagine that your person is already with you. So, for example, make dinner for two, right? Although you're only making it for one. Like, think of what your person would like to eat. What would you like to eat together, right? Like, have them in, try and include them in your life, in your everyday life, in spirit. And for example, like, have a very positive like self-talk, but also like you can talk to them in your mind, right? Like you can tell them things, like even the hurtful things, like let's say a person hurt you in some ways, just write them a letter and don't necessarily send it. Just write it and hold it or burn it. Just get it out of your chest, whatever they did. Like creative writing is just so helpful. It will help you to organize your thought process, and it, if you cannot talk to anybody about your experiences, just write it down or speak it out loud. Like you can record yourself and listen to yourself, and you will actually discover things about yourself by doing that. Another thing is also you can ask for dreams about your person. Before the bedtime, you can ask to see dreams about them, and eventually you'll start seeing dreams about them. You are so precious. Just a friendly reminder that whatever you are going through right now, just know that you are very, very special and precious. You know that you are so loved. That hopefully you can recognize when love is around you. And just keep repeating this to yourself every day. Like every morning, wake up, look in the mirror and say, I'm so beautiful. I am precious. I am worthy. And I am dreaming my dream life. I am living my dream life, right? I am living my dream life, and I am an architect of my dream life. I can do this. With or without you, right? Because eventually you don't need nobody. You only need yourself. But of course it would be nice to live this life with your perfect counterpart. But meanwhile, you need to make your life perfect as it is. You need to change things, rearrange things within your life in order for the rest of it to come together. And both of you are doing kind of the same thing. Like they're working on themselves too. Like they're coming through really, really strongly. Like I feel like they're in spirit already, kind of like, in a baby phase. Like they're already here. But they might not be developed enough yet. Like they might be like too young, or might be they might be just a little bit immature to be a father right now. Or you might be a little bit immature to be a mother, but you would like to be in this state, right? And always remember that baby is supposed to be like a product of your love, right? Like a fruit, a love fruit. That perfect legacy, a stamp, an evidence of your love. We can't really make babies in order to keep somebody from leaving, If they want to go, they want to go. They are going to go, because the children will not be stopping them from leaving. So it would be good to be in a balanced relationship before you can bring in another human being, right? Because you would need to guide and teach this human being. And babies need a lot of loving. They need a peaceful environment. They need routine, consistency. They need a loving, stable environment to grow and prosper, right? So how can you get into that space? Spirit is saying to save your money. So finances might be an issue for this union and a baby for not manifesting for you yet, you need to save your money, and your person needs to save their money too. And it would be good for you to start investing, to have some sort of assets, whether this is gold, real estate, maybe you can qualify for mortgage and buy a property, buy an apartment instead of paying rent, or even buy land. If you are not ready to start building yet, at least you would have a piece of land that you could start building on, or your children could start building on one day. And then others say, I would say, don't go too risky, with your assets. Like, you do good research on where are you investing your money. Always double check everything. And always start with just a little, right? Just invest a little and see how it goes. Like, let's say I'm invested in crypto, so before I send $500 from one crypto address to another crypto address, I always send $5 first, right? Just to make sure that it will get there. So any transactions, any online transactions, always make sure that you're just sending a little bit, right? That you are not sending $1,000 to somewhere and it will disappear if you are in that sort of investing. But on top of my head, I would say, if you don't really know about crypto a lot, Bitcoin and Ethereum are safe bets to go with, right? To try and buy the dips, try and buy at the low price, try and buy cheap, right? And just hold it for years. Any investment is, of course, can be risky. Maybe mutual funds, right? Mutual funds, or some stocks that are kind of sort of stable. I believe that Tesla has a great future, I mean, these stocks are like Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, right? You correct me if I'm saying something wrong. Maybe comment down below what would you recommend, but try and look for safe stocks, right? To invest. Don't go too crazy. Don't go. I mean, have correct safe risk management. Let's get a last card. Spirit is saying that whatever your person did to you, they just didn't know any better. They weren't thinking, maybe a little bit immature energy, or it's kind of maybe not as deep as you are, maybe a little bit kind of shallow. A little bit undeveloped, spiritually undeveloped. They just didn't know any better. They know that they did something wrong. They didn't know what they had until you were gone, until you said, no, I'm not going to deal with this. But they didn't know any better. They thought that they could just go and do whatever, and you would still be there. You cannot change them. They have to do the work. Exactly. Just like you are working on yourself and have been working on yourself, your person needs to do the same thing. No matter what you say to them, it's always good to communicate. But, nagging is also kind of annoying. If you live together, if you're in a relationship and you are the one who's always that's not nice either. So maybe if you have to express yourself, maybe you have to say something, just find like a really nice way to say it. Like, instead of maybe saying like, oh, you're not doing the dishes, or you're not cleaning the floor, maybe say like, oh baby, like, do you think you could help me with the dishes today? I'm just feeling so tired. Like, thank you so much. You're so nice to me. Like, you are so kind to me. Like, put it in that way, you know, or let's say you go grocery shopping together. Like, let them do the grocery shopping. You know, like, you don't have to do everything. Like, even if you can, like, you don't have to. Even if you can do it, you don't always have to do it. Because that can be like very draining. Same thing, like, their spiritual development is just going to happen on their own time. We can't really, they will do their own research, they will talk to their buddies, you know, and they will come to their own conclusions, and they will learn when they will learn. And normally men develop slower than women, right? Spiritually, emotionally. So, like, don't have your expectations too high, you know. Like, even if it's your perfect counterpart, it doesn't mean that you are the same person. You are still two different people. So just understand that you have your own differences, and it's okay. Like, nobody is perfect, and nobody needs to be perfect in somebody else's, like, eyes. Like, we can just be ourselves and accept each other the way that we are, and give each other a little bit of time, you know. Because if that's your real counterpart, you two will come together no matter what. No matter if it takes 1 year or 5 years or 10 years, you will come together, because your energies cannot stay away from each other. Like, they need each other in order to feel complete, right? Yeah, you guys, I think this is a great time to end this reading. Hopefully everything will turn out for you just great. And please remember to subscribe to my channel. I'm gonna be doing live videos from now on. So it'd be really, really great to have you guys here with me, so we can stay connected and, you know, discover this beautiful life together. All right, well, take care now, and I'll talk to you very soon. Bye.